spoken today is Camille from Mahogany Tales. Now she's opening up actually the Den this afternoon. Again, the first person to play on it for 3 years, which must be fun. So hello to you, Camille.
Hello there.
Lovely to speak to you. Now, we're going to play a song to start us off with, and then we'll have a little chat. What's the song you're going to play first?
The song I'm going to play first is called Out of Nowhere, and it's a song that's been inspired to me by a Bible left in Lama's Land one morning when I was walking to work. But then it doesn't really speak about the Bible, but the Bible inspired the first sentence.
That sounds very interesting. Oh, let's hear that then.
I found God on a park bench. It seemed alright. I had too much to deal with. Couldn't stay, wouldn't cry. My heart was ripped apart by some stranger that I thought I had known, but I couldn't look him in the eyes. It wasn't you, it wasn't you, oh, it wasn't you. Broken down on the ground, I stayed asleep. Speechless night, it took all my might to fall away. You came out of nowhere. The golden face was in my hand. You told me not to be scared, not to be scared. Oh, you came out of nowhere. The golden face light in my hand. Oh, you told me not to be scared. Oh, not to be scared. Not to be scared. Oh, not to be scared.
Oh, that was lovely. Well done. Thank you very much. Now, you said that was inspired by just you walking along and finding a Bible on a bench, which was kind of... lots of questions can
Well,
become
first of all,
from
my
that.
wife's an RE teacher and she could make use of it, I think.
Yeah, you go and find it. Don't waste anything. But is that how you get your inspiration, from just everything, or do you get it from other certain places?
I'm not entirely sure where I get inspiration from, actually. I think it's that for that specific song, I just the first sentence of the song just stuck in my head all day, and it just had to come out somehow into something creative. So I, sat down at home and thought you need to write something with this. But I think very often when I write songs, it's more about emotions and things that I'm not yet aware of. So it's kind of like a conversation with my subconscious. That's how I describe it, because I think I want to write a song. I start writing about it. I don't really know what the song is about, and then when I start thinking about it, I realize what the song is about, and that was just my my subconscious trying to communicate with me, basically.
So you find it's kind of like a way of you kind of getting the thoughts out without you having to kind of almost like a therapy.
Yeah,
if you like.
I would say it's very therapeutic. Yeah, absolutely. I think songwriting for me definitely is. And then the magical aspect of it is that you then share it with people and they can relate to it in a very personal way that has nothing to do with the way that you wrote it, in the first place. So
yeah, I
that's
think
quite
people
magical.
often find different things in the words, isn't it? And then the music, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, I think, has a story about, that song must be about that, or that song must be about that. And very, very little time is it the true story about that song.
Do you just agree with people? You say, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really mind. I think it's
No.
quite magical. It's kind of like a song is multiple songs,
And so Mahogany Tales is your solo project. You before, a few years ago now, you were in Camiseo. Did you decide you just wanted to go solo?
Yeah, so I was actually saying that to Les just before. I think I had a moment during the pandemic, like a lot of people, where I just started questioning the purpose of things, of my projects, of what I was doing. And I realized that I wanted to do something that was more purposeful for me personally. And I felt like Camiseo wasn't that thing anymore. So I left the band and I started this during the pandemic, just live streaming. Thinking I was a bit crazy, really, thinking back, because live music was non-existent, non-existent. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start a solo project right now. But I did it, and people, followed me from Camiseo. And as soon as I was able to play live again, they were here, outside, just coming to the gigs.
Yes, we were lucky enough. You did one of the live stream for us for on Cambridge 105 for our lockdown live, and that's how I first came across you and how we first met. And so it's lovely. Today is literally the first time we've kind of properly met in real life.
Actually, physically.
So you've been doing lots of gigs since we've been allowed to go out.
Yes, I have tried to play as much as possible. I think as a musician, if you don't play, you kind of lose the purpose of what you're doing. Songwriting is wonderful, but the way I personally get the kick out of music is by seeing faces and seeing how people react to my music. If I don't do that, then very quickly I start questioning whether that's even worth it. I think that's what has been so difficult for a lot of musicians. So being back here live is very meaningful for, I think, everyone who's playing live today.
Yeah, because it's even though you're doing solo, you collaborate with other people, don't you? You kind of feed off each other.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We were just discussing before. So Josh, who we had on earlier from the Mardlers, you two kind of work together, as in you support each other in various gigs, don't you?
Yes, there's been supporting gigs. He's supported some of my gigs. I've supported some of his. It's the community, the musician community in Cambridge is quite close-knit. We kind of all know each other somehow. We've all seen each other, gone to each other's gigs. Josh is definitely someone that I have a very, very bright impression of. I remember the first time I arrived in Cambridge, I was at an open mic and he just turned up and it was the end of the night and he sang one song and the pub became crazy. It was just that big surge of energy and everyone was just singing along, and he has that energy, so you don't forget someone like that, definitely not.
Yeah. And so have you got many gigs coming up, and are you recording an album or EP or anything?
I'm recording. I've been recording an EP, and now I'm working on releasing the tracks. I've been very busy this year because I'm also getting married, so it's a bit complicated to kind of do both at the same time. But I've basically recorded 4 tracks for an EP that's gonna come out at the end of the year as an EP with bonus acoustic tracks that I'm gonna record with Dan Wild at Lakeside Recording. And the aim is to share more music. So I've got 1 track out as Mahogany Tales for now, but I hope to have many, many more as quickly as I can.
Now, you just briefly mentioned there your wedding. You're getting married this weekend, aren't you?
I am getting married on Saturday in Downham Market, which is where I live. This is, Norfolk is has my heart, I think. Yeah, really.
And I'm sure you don't mind me saying that you're getting married to the lead singer
Yes.
of Flint Moore, who are also playing
they're
tonight.
also playing
So
tonight.
this is a showbiz wedding then, which is
It's-
taking place
yeah.
in Downham Market,
Yes,
no less.
we are Downham Market Brangelina,
Okay.
absolutely. We just hope we last longer. But yeah, so he's closing. Flintmore is closing the den tonight, and I'm opening the den. So that's, you know, we've car shared. You know, we've been eco-conscious.
And you said you didn't realise when you were booked for this, you didn't even realise that each other were doing this gig, and then you suddenly realised how close it was to your wedding.
Yes, exactly. We didn't realise exactly how close it was to the wedding. It was like we have that shared calendar, and I went to put that gig on, and then he went to put his gig on, and it was like, oh, we have a gig on the same day, and we realized it was the same gig, basically. And then that it was 2 days before our wedding. We're like, okay, that's going to be fine. That's going to be okay.
Well, we're very pleased that you're here. And have you got time to play another track for us?
Yeah, of course. I'm just going to quickly retune this guitar.
Oh, and our first live retuning of the folk festival, everybody. This is good. Always like a good retuning session.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to retune. You know, you're outside and the guitars are like, I really don't like this.
I remember we had an issue in our studio once because it's like freezing cold out in the green room, and you come into the studio, it's boiling hot. So as people busy tuning up outside, they come in and they got to start all over again.
I have memories of playing with Camiseo, I think it was on Les's show, where the guitarist Tom Penn had really tuned his guitar perfectly, beautifully, and entered the studio, and suddenly it was completely out when we started the song, and I could see his face just slowly like losing composure. It was terrible.
The wonderful world of Gwyder Street.
But you think then, like, at that point, what do I do? Do I just stop playing, or do I just play out of tune and everyone will know I'm out of tune?
Yeah, I think at this point, you know, you just have to go with the flow and hope that the rest carries it, you know. It's just part of it. It's just part of life, really.